Jannik Sinner roars back to beat Carlos Alcaraz for first Wimbledon final win. For most tennis players in history, a defeat as excruciating as Jannik Sinner's brutal loss to Carlos Alcaraz in the French Open final would have taken years to recover from. In Sinner's case, the pain he endured simply made him stronger. 1 month on from the toughest night of his life on a tennis court, Sinner turned the tables at the earliest possible opportunity, demonstrating his resilience by recovering from a set down to win his first Wimbledon title with a phenomenal performance, toppling the two-time defending champion, Alcaraz, 4-6, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. Sinner is the first Italian player to win a Wimbledon singles title, and he now stands as a 4-time Grand Slam champion. He breaks his overall tie with an assortment of famous names, including Arthur Ashe, Andy Murray, and Stan Wawrinka. Perhaps most important, he ends his great rival's run of 5 consecutive wins against him, adding a new dimension to a rivalry that seems set to decide the majority of major tournaments in the near future. In their own personal Grand Slam race, which still feels like it has only just begun, Sinner's victory ensures that Alcaraz, who owns 5 major titles, remains within touching distance. This is also Sinner's first Slam title away from hard courts, after 2 victories at the Australian Open and last year's US Open title. A month ago, Sinner stared blankly into space from his seat on court Philippe Chatrier while Alcaraz celebrated his triumph in their French Open final with his family in the stands. Sinner held 3 championship points, the match on his racket, in the 4th set before losing one of the greatest Grand Slam finals in history. It is a reflection of the Italian's tenacity and mental strength that the 23-year-old has found his path again so quickly. This is also Sinner's first Grand Slam victory and overall title since his 3-month doping ban between February and May. Sinner had tested positive for the banned substance clostebol last year before successfully arguing during his initial tribunal in August that the positive test had been a result of contamination, receiving no suspension. After the World Anti-Doping Agency chose to appeal the case, Sinner's team and WADA eventually entered a case resolution agreement, essentially a settlement, agreeing on the 3-month suspension. Their 3 hours on center court also showcased Sinner's toughness. Despite how he frustratingly ended the first set, he kept on moving forward. Unlike a month earlier, Sinner played his best tennis in the decisive moments, serving brilliantly under pressure in the 3rd set and maintaining his relentless aggression until the end, smothering the Spaniard with his constant pressure. Deep in the 4th set, as he faltered, this time Sinner held on. Aside from his bizarre 4th-round match, where Sinner hurt his elbow and trailed by 2 sets to Grigor Dimitrov before the Bulgarian was forced to retire, Sinner had undoubtedly performed at a higher, more consistent level than Alcaraz throughout the tournament. For once, Alcaraz could not find a way back in through the sheer force of his competitive spirit. Things had not started so well for Sinner. After establishing a 4-2 lead in the first set, the Italian watched his lead evaporate as Alcaraz reeled off 4 consecutive games, closing it off with an angled backhand slice winner at the very end of his range. Minutes after demonstrating the stratospheric heights his game can reach, however, Alcaraz showed how quickly his level can fall. An unfocused start to the second set immediately left him trailing 0-40, and he eventually lost his serve. While his opponent's level wavered, Sinner regained his rhythm on serve, which had faltered at the end of the first set. Then he calmly continued to put Alcaraz under pressure on every point with his relentless aggression off both wings. The essential 3rd set was ultimately decided by their serving under pressure. While Sinner saved some of his best serving for key moments, following up a searing 117 mph second serve ace at 3-4, 30-30 with another service winner to hold, Alcaraz faltered. The Spaniard lost rhythm on his first serve at the end of the subsequent game as Sinner fearlessly connected with 2 brilliant second serve returns, snatching the set's decisive break.